blacks have the lowest IQ. Possibly true. Right? Possibly true. You know, you make these arguments about American blacks and African countries not being, progressive and made advanced civilizations. Not here to argue, not here to spew or say anything. I'm clearly black. You can identify me as such. So would it be I am low IQ? Would it be the Egyptians were low IQ? Would it be the nuclear plant from thousands of years ago were constructed by men of low IQ? Would it be that the man that gave us almost every invention today, Nikola Tesla, 90%, 95% of everything that works today came from his thoughts? Would it be that he's research around fantasizing on the Egyptian ways and methods of electricity were of low IQ that gave us everything? I don't know. Who am I to say? I don't like debating ideas. This video is going to be all over the place because my thoughts are scattered, but I'll try to stick to one course. Naively, I'll be navigating my thoughts and trying to attain things, thinking people might have the same worldview as me. But as you proceed with life and as you grow and you start to see the challenges you're facing, you start to see the cracks in the processes and methods you're going through. People have their own worldview. Very complicated humans on this planet, which is fine. But once that worldview starts to hinder across my obligations, my purpose, and things I'm trying to attain, as an industrialist, as somebody that's looking to genuinely provide value to the world, I call that a crime. Not just a crime to humanity, but I call that as an act of war. So, for example, let's take one stereotype. Blacks have a low IQ, right? So, speaking from the perspective of that who's only existed in the United States, and that's the only perspective they have. But if they themselves spoke to their own ancestors about the facts of that reality, they're going to learn pretty quickly that that's not a general observation. The next thing is this other group, or Asians have this, and whites have this, or Jews are too organized, and so we should stop them or limit them or whatever. I don't care about none of that. I think the time to debate ideas is leaving. So let's say indeed blacks do have a low IQ. Yeah, maybe it's true. A lot of fucking African countries are poor. They are not executing at the highest level. That's rational. A lot of fucking African Americans are doing irrational things. That's fucking that's you can look at that and you can make that argument. Let's put it. Okay, fine. And you could say the Romans never lasted. Their ideas, their great ideas, their great inventions, all collapsed at one point. The Greeks collapsed at one point. So same thing with the Chinese. They collapsed at one point. So who's built a civilization that lasts? The Egyptians are not here. We don't even understand what was going on there. So debating time is over. We've read history. We know what's going on. Debating ideas and putting them out there is over. Another observation is Earth has been here for billions of years. No civilization at the time, at the inception of the Earth, or at some point, we don't have any documented, we don't have any documented record of those people. So, were they low IQ? Were they high IQ? What did they attain? We don't know. Some nuclear plantations were found in sub-Saharan Africa, dated thousands of years ago, way before Roman history, way before Greek history, way before all these civilizations that are modern and we read about. So, do I say they were high IQ? Who am I to say? Because they're not here. They didn't leave any writings or any teachings. We did find their nuclear plants. The Egyptians, they left the pyramids. Who's to say they were the highest IQ people? Who knows anything? So my thing is debating the past always constantly on how to structure the future when the future has no sustainable, tangible civilizations that lasted longer than we want, I think is a huge waste of time. So my thing is, let's start to talk. Not let's start to talk less, and let's see the civilization that's going to last 20 years from now. Which empires are gonna. Let's see how it's going to look like 50 years from now, 100 years from now. But what I will say with definitive facts is no race on this planet, no civilization has built a lasting, sustaining civilization. The Chinese, the Asians, the Africans, the Europeans, the who else is on the planet? The South Americans. Nobody has built a self-sustaining civilization that lasted thousands of years. They all go extinct. That's what I'm concerned about. That's why I'm speaking. So all these stereotypes obviously come to the end of a civilization. The power struggle, fighting about power and resources and so on. The history of war is always about resources. And civilization goes extinct because of those innate human conflicts. The philosophers, the thinkers, the men that put civilizations together, the Greeks, the Romans, the great Greeks, and so on that we read about today in modern times, all went extinct. Are they a high IQ? Where did the same IQ go? Pardon me. Where did the same IQ go when they needed to sustain their civilization? Self-interest and human nature took over. It always wins. So, like I said prior, I'm not here to argue, but I'm here to just say it's war. It's not war based on race, based on ideology, based on a group, but it's war on who's going to sustain a civilization the longest and forever, possibly. 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, and 1,000 years from now, possibly, who's going to still be around? Let's see. So it's a declaration of war, of ideas. We're not talking too much about the past. Let's talk about the future. Men that talk about the past, the good old days, and debating those ideas, you're just going to talk yourselves until there's no more civilization to post and people to see it. But let's see. 20 years, 30 years, 100 years. Let's see who's going to be here.